So guys, today's agenda would be, we'll be talking about when I get a new F5, how to configure from scratch. That will be the first topic which we will be talking about today. Very, very important topic. How we will get video access and everything I have showed you, and how to download images which I have shown you. Now, the first topic would be, if you get F5 in your company or in your lab, how to configure it from scratch. Very, very important topic. So we'll be talking about lab setup. But before that, guys, I will be telling you our lab topology, which I will be following about. And previous class, we talked about what is load balancer. So if you talked about this, let me just tell you. So previous overview, we talked about how the big IP looks like. So F5 is a company and big IP is a product. And this big IP product, we have first module, which is called LTM, which will be doing it. Then we checked about hardware, how the hardware looks like. Now, today, and the one important thing to do a lab setup, you need to understand F5 is a proxy device and it is called full proxy device. So I will tell you what does full proxy mean. Slowly you will get to know, but you need to understand that your client, let's say coming from internet, coming to F5, then going further to servers. So previously, without load balancer, your traffic was directly going to your server end. These are called your app server, web server, or it can be called backend server. What are these server, guys? These are your servers where your application is hosted physically. Let's say if I access sianets.com from my web browser, I'm sitting here on internet. My name is Vidit. I want to access this URL or this application. So this application is physically hosted on any of this server. And load balancer role is that when customer request comes, let's say first client wants to connect to sianets.com. It will decide whether it should go to server 1, server 2, or server 3. So we talked about advantage of load balancer. First advantage is equal distribution. If traffic comes to F5, F5 will act as a proxy. He will see the load of this server, and this server. And they have a algo. According to algo, F5 will load balance your request. Load balancing means that I would request my request from client, I will send to different servers so that equal distribution happens. That is the main role. Why? So that server overutilization does not happen. That is the main thing, guys. I want that my server should not get overutilized, guys. That is the first important thing which load balancer came into picture. Second, if one of the server in that case, it will be redundancy. You can watch my day one recording. That is the things which we discussed why I need a load balancer. Now, the third topic for today, which I will be talking about, was when I get an F5 LTM new load balancer to be configured from scratch. How, what are the steps included? So first step is we need to build a management connectivity. So I will tell you step by step how we will do it. First thing is management connectivity. So let me come across. So in this case, guys, in lab topology, let me draw a topology for you guys so that it will be easy to understand. I will have one external client, which can be your laptop, or you can have your one Windows XP image in VMware workstation. That is the first thing you need. Then you need an F5 image, load balancer image. When I talk about F5, it's called load balancer. So we are working on 12 or 13, you can work. I have shared you 12 image. Then we have 3 servers behind it, which I will show you all the labs, how the traffic is getting load balanced. This is called red server. This is called green server. This is called blue server. So this is the lab topology. F5 by default has 4 interfaces. One interface will be management. This will be your external interface. This will be your internal interface. And one interface is called high availability, guys. Very important, guys. When you install F5 initially, it comes with 4 interfaces. Dedicated management interface, then you have one interface external, one interface internal, and one interface for HA. So we will have 4 interfaces with 4 subnets. Our external subnet will be our Wi-Fi, guys. So you can just keep it as your bridge network or Wi-Fi network that I will show you. Bridge, I will Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi network in my case will be 192.168.1.0 because I am getting IP from this subnet. In your case, it can be different subnet. I'll be taking management IP segment from this segment. 192.168.137.0. That I will show you how to configure it, but please remember this topology and subnet. And my HA subnet will be from 10.1.1.0/24. This we will do it later on. But this is the subnet which I will be taking. And my internal network will be 10.2.2.0/24. Always remember that when you install F5, there will be 2 networks. One is front end and one is back end. You will heard this term lot of the time. F5 is acting as a full proxy device between these two. So this external world is called front end. And this backend network is called F5 and an application server. Here your original application will be hosted. Very, very important, guys. If someone says backend network, they are talking about these servers. So on that day, we discussed about 3 terms, guys, if you remember. First one is virtual IP. Second one is pool member. And third one is pool. So in this case, guys, your virtual network would be from which segment? Anyone can tell me in the chat? Your client wants to access public IP network. That is external. My external network is from which IP segment? Your VIP is nothing but an IP address of your website plus port number. When I access google.com has one IP address. So can someone tell me from this lab topology, my virtual IP network will be from which segment? Whether it's from this segment, management segment, internal segment, or HA segment, anyone? On the chat, quickly reply. So VIP is nothing but a URL of your website. When I say that I want to configure 2 applications in my load balancer, then I will create 2 VIPs. So someone has replied, excellent, external network. So external network is this one, 192.168.1.0 in my case. And your pool member will be from which network, guys? Because that are on your backend network. And my backend network is in which network? Excellent, internal network. So this is very important to understand, guys. So you can take the snapshot, you will get to know. Then I will discuss about VMware network adapter, F5 network. But first thing is this one, to understand the lab topology. Okay, guys. So this is the topology. Now, guys, I will draw a table for you to make it more easy. So I will make a table how to do, which interface will be tagged to VMware editor. Very easy table which I will be making you to understand. So first column would be F5 interfaces. We talked about F5 interfaces. Management interface, external interface, internal interface, and HA. Okay, guys. I will draw a VLAN, subnet, everything. Then there is a concept of adapter, guys. When we talk about VMware, there is a concept of adapter, network adapter. So my management network adapter will be VMnet 8, which I will be assigning. My external would be VMnet 0. My internal will be VMnet 2. And my HA will be VMnet 1. How you can see this adapter, guys? Go to VMware workstation. Okay. Here, go to virtual. When you open a VMware workstation, guys, you will see like this. VMware workstation 15 image. Just go here, click on edit, click on virtual network editor. So here you will see different adapters. So I'll be taking 4 adapters in my VMware. Guys, why I'm taking only 4 adapters in my VMware? Because F5 has 4 interfaces: management, external, internal, and HA. So can you see VMnet 8 here? Can you see VMnet 2 and VMnet 1? I cannot see VMnet 0, guys. Why? Because that is Wi-Fi. In that case, what you need to do, click on change settings. Click on yes. Now here you will see. So in your case, guys, maybe you will not able to see this. But what you can see, you might able to see only Vim network 1. In that case, what you need to do, how to add or remove network, you will do like this. Because I have 4 interfaces, that is why it's coming. You can remove also networks. Click on this, remove network. So I need 4 interfaces, and how to add these interfaces? From here. Very, very important, guys. I hope everyone has taken the snapshot. So VMnet 0, guys, if you see, I have marked as bridge network, guys, because it will be from my Wi-Fi network. Please remember that it should be bind to your Wi-Fi name. My Wi-Fi name is this one. How to check Wi-Fi name? Click on your Wi-Fi network in your laptop like this. Then click on properties. You will see here Wi-Fi network name. Can you see this? My Wi-Fi name is Intel Dual Band Wireless. So that is where you need to bridge your network. Okay, this is the first thing you need to take here. Now, second thing, guys, how you need to do? Just click on VMnet 0. Here you will get it. You will see your Wi-Fi name. My Wi-Fi name is Intel Dual Band Wireless. So what I did, I selected bridged and then my Wi-Fi name. That's it. After that, guys, VMnet 1, guys. VMnet 1 will be acting as my HA network. My HA network is 10.1.1.0/24. So I will select it as a host only. And how to give IP? This is how you will give an IP. You will select host only first, then click this two option, and then you need to give IP. And network is /24, guys. Please reminder this. You can keep it any IP, but for easiness, I have taken this. First one is external, this one is HA, this one is internal, and this one is management. Okay, guys. Now, third one, you need to click on VMnet 2, click on host only, and network is 10.2.2.0/24. So only you need to remember that VMnet 0 will be bridged because it is sharing your public IP with your Wi-Fi network. Means it will receive own IP address. You are not giving any subnet. Bridge means it will replicate an IP from DHCP because it's via my Wi-Fi network. I'm not doing any IP. That is why I'm making bridged. And these two are host only network, guys. And the fourth one is management, guys. And this one I have selected as NAT. Guys, why I am taking it as a NAT? Because I need to access it, my management from my public laptop. So that is why it's making netting. Bridge means it's taking public IP from DHCP. NAT means netting, private to public. I can access this VMware from external resources. That is what the NAT means. Let's say my home network is in wireless router. So this VMware will be assigned a separate network. So from your laptop, you can access your management. That is why you need to make it NAT. And the IP segment I'm giving is this one. Very, very important, guys. Host only means these are the separate network. No one from outside world can access it. NAT means, let's say you have a home network. Generally, it's not related to F5, but I'm telling you just VMware term. Let's say on your home network, you have a wireless router. So this VMware machine, you want to assign it 192.168.137.1. Let's say it's your host computer. Okay. Now you assign one big IP network as 137.50 something, your private IP of your F5 192.168.137.50. But you want this network to be accessible from outside world, just like your host. So that is where you can access it. That is why I'm making NAT. So these are the four network, guys. Very, very important. Okay. Now let me come into the pictorial representation. I will again draw a table so that you can understand. I was just telling you how to give segment on and all on VMware workstation. Now I will draw a topology. F5 interface, adapter. Here I will say configuration, subnet, and VLAN. So in F5 interface, it will be tagged like management, then 1.1, then 1.2. These are the interface schema in F5. You will see F5 interfaces in this management 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Adapter, I am taking management on VMnet 8. 1.1 I am taking as a HA. So this will be my, what I will say, it can be external or internal, depend. I will tell you, it can be your external network or internal, it depends. So I will take it VMnet 0. This I will take at VMnet 2. And this one I will take at VMnet 1. It can interrelate. I will tell you logic of this later on because MAC address will be depending on this. Because F5 interfaces will be, you will see like this. When you log in into F5 and you get an management access, you will get this segment. So my management will always check to VMnet 8. But these three interfaces can interlink, depend on external, internal, or HA. So I will say this VLAN will be my management. This will be external. This will be internal, and this will be HA. Just telling you the VLAN, which I will be creating on F5. And subnet will be, management will be 137.0. VMnet 0 will be from 1.0/24. VMnet 2 will be internal network. And HA will be 10.1.1.0/24. This table, guys, if you remember, it will always be easy for you. Don't need to remember, just take a snapshot. This one is bridged in VMware. Sorry, management is NAT. This one is bridged. External network will be always in bridged. This one will be host only. And this one will be host only. Okay, guys. And I have done the topology also. So these are F5 interfaces, and these are your VMware interfaces. And network configuration on VMware and F5 we will do. I have shown you how to do subnet allocation on VMware networks. I have done it. The same you need to do it in your VMware workstation. So this is the physical IP segment. So you can take a snapshot. Don't need to cram it, it's very easy. Just we need 4 interfaces. Now I will draw a topology again. I have F5 here. F5 will have 4 interfaces. External, for easiness, I'm drawing it. Management, internal, and HA. Here you will have your clients, multiple client. And this is your bridged network. I am taking about F5 interface also and VMware interfaces. Your management will be tagged to VMnet 8. Your HA will be VMnet 1. Your internal will be VMnet 2. Here your servers will be. Okay, guys. So let's say if it's in 10.2.2.0, I'm writing a subnet here for your easiness. 1.0/24. Management will be 192.168.137.0/24. And HA will be, because I told you, right? F5 is a load balancer. When any request comes from client, F5 will distribute. First client request will go to server 1. This request goes to server 2. This client request goes to server 3. Okay, guys. And let's say I want to give my server IP red, green, blue. So I will give assign one IP here, that 30, this one 31, and this one 32. I will show you how to configure your servers also. But first task is you need to understand the topology, how many interfaces are there in F5. And the third one is IP schema. Fourth one is management connectivity. Okay, guys. So you can take the snapshot if you want. Then I will proceed further on. Now, guys, what does this ADC means? ADC means application delivery controller. Very, very important, guys. This diagram is very important. In F5, guys, you have two interfaces. Okay. One is management plane. One is data plane. So F5 is segregated into two planes. This one is management plane and this one is data plane. Let's say, guys, your data interfaces are down. You will still able to access your GUI and CLI of your F5. That is the meaning of management plane and data plane. It is segregated. Your management plane does not have any dependency on your data plane. Even data interfaces are down. You will still able to access your management IP. And what is the operating system, guys, used in F5? Can someone reply on the chat? I will check your knowledge. What is the operating system used in F5? Like in Cisco, it's iOS. In Juniper, it is Junus. What is the operating system used in F5? F5, it's called TMOS. Full form of TMOS? Traffic Management Operating System. And it is a Linux-based operating system. And what are these? These are your different modules. And it has a high performance hardware for SSL, compression, full proxy, I rules. We will talk about all these features. This comes under your data plane. When I talk about management plane, your GUI, your CLI, and there is a concept of IAPS that comes under your management plane, or you can say admin plane. All your admin tasks like NTP, DNS, that traffic goes via management plane, guys. Very, very important picture, guys. So F5 is not a load balancer. It can do SSL offloading. It can act as a security device. It can act as an intelligent DNS also. It comes with your hardware level, your virtual appliance or chassis based also, guys. That is what this picture represent, guys. Okay. Now, guys, very, very important picture. What does full proxy architecture means? You must be hearing this term. I have talked about reverse proxy, forward proxy. You must have heard about Zscaler, McAfee. You must have heard about F5 as a reverse proxy, Citrix. But what does full proxy means? Full proxy is a term which has been introduced in F5 only. So treat this as a client, treat this as your website, which is hosted on F5. And these are your servers. So F5 is acting as a full proxy means there will be two side connection. One is between client to F5, which is called client side connection. And one connection will be from F5 to the server. That is called server side connection. That is the meaning of full proxy architecture, guys. It will have three TCP three-way handshake separate. There will be another three-way handshake with F5 to the server. This connection does not have any dependency on this connection, guys. That is the meaning of full proxy. When F5 is acting as a middleman, they will have two connection. One is between this and one is between this. That is why it is called full proxy architecture. Can you see this? First three-way handshake is built between client and your F5 virtual server. Until this connection is not built, F5 will not send any traffic to your pool member. That is called full proxy architecture, guys. And once this three-way handshake is clear, then can you see this fourth package is your GET request. When you access any website, guys, let's say Sianets.com, which is hosted on F5. What is the first traffic? First, TCP handshake will be built. Second, then there will be HTTP GET request. So once F5 receive HTTP GET, then only it will start building a three-way handshake with your server or a pool member. Once it is completed, then this HTTP GET request will be sent further to your server. So HTTP works as a response and request model. Request is this one. This is called HTTP request. And what is coming from server is called HTTP response. That this is very important picture, guys, of a full proxy. Full proxy means there will be two TCP connection between. One is like in Palo Alto, it's called SP3 architecture. In this is called full proxy architecture. Full proxy means two separate connections. Because client is here and server is here. I will show you one picture representation. What does exactly full proxy I have shown on that day, I'm not sure. But I will show you that picture representation which you will understand quickly about full proxy architecture. Just 1 minute. Because the F5 is acting as a proxy device. So that is why it's called full proxy, because it is building two-way handshake. One is between client to F5 and one is between client F5 to the server. That is where it's called full proxy architecture. Just showing you that architecture 1 minute so that you understand quickly. So this is where full proxy architecture comes into picture. Can you see? This is acting as an F5 hardware. This is client side traffic and this is server side. This is called front end and this is called back end. If you see a three-way handshake is building here. What does it means is, guys, between client and F5, this connection can be HTTPS. Between F5 to the server, this connection can be HTTP. So that is where this connection is saying encrypted. This can be unencrypted. This side connection does not have any dependency on this side traffic. That is where it maintains two session table, one on front end, one on back end. This is called WAN side traffic. This is called LAN side traffic. So you must have heard about terms about reverb, WAN optimization, LAN optimization. This can be your compressed traffic and this can be your uncompressed. Because server load, why it is telling encrypted? Because now all the things will be done by F5. F5 will first check the traffic, whether it is SSL offloaded or not. Do I need to do any SSL offloading? Means he will unencrypt and send the plain text traffic to your server. When you access any website, guys, it is on HTTPS. So this traffic can be on version 1, HTTP version. HTTP has different version, 1.0, 1.1, 2.0, and this can be 1.1. So that is where full proxy architecture comes. Very, very important, guys. By default, previously, your F5 was working as a reverse proxy. But when LTM comes into picture, that is called full proxy architecture. My main agenda is I will view the traffic. I can modify the traffic. I can inspect first. Then I can send to the server, guys. For security purpose also. I can modify also. You will see we have an iRule technology. We can modify and send the traffic. This front end traffic can be on HTTPS. This traffic can be on HTTP. So that is an advantage which has been given. F5 has visibility of both side traffic, this one and this one. So that is very important architecture. This is an important interview question which will be asked in your company, guys. Now, we talked about hardware on that day, guys. How F5 hardware looks like. So we have a separate management port. We have a separate console cable. Let's say in your company, you got a task to configure F5 and your F5 is in US and you are sitting in India. From India, you need to configure F5 from scratch. You need to get a management connectivity. So what is the first thing you will do, guys? Anyone? You have a data center engineer in US and you need to configure this F5 sitting in India. What is the first task you will do? I need an answer, guys. This you have been doing in firewalls and other. Let me see the chat. Saurabh, management access is the term. My question is, I am sitting in India and why I want to configure F5 from Scratch sitting in US. What is the first thing we need to do? Console access, guys. Excellent. Sonali is saying, ask technician to get local access via console. Very good answer, guys. So you need to ask your data center engineer, hey, can you plug a laptop to F5? On which port he will plug a laptop, guys? Anyone? His F5 laptop, he wants to connect his laptop to F5. On which port he will connect from this? 22? No, it's not right. So people are saying console port. Excellent, guys. So it can be your serial cable RG45. Excellent, guys. That is where you need a console port. Very good. Now, we got a console. He has plugged the laptop. Second thing what you need to do now. You got an access of your F5. After that, what you need to do? So let's go step by step. Excellent, guys. We need to configure management IP. So this will be talking about today. Very, very important. First, we will take an access of our F5. Then we will configure license part. Then we will configure network part. Subnets, HA subnet, internal and external, I talk about, right? VLANs, then subnets. So it comes under this. First, we will configure management IP, guys. By default, F5 has a management IP of this network. 1.245/24, guys. Very, very important. Someone can ask, by default, F5 can be accessed by which IP? 192.168.1.245, guys. Okay, guys, that is the first thing. And F5 has two credentials. One, F5 you can access by GUI, and from GUI, your username by default is admin and password is admin. When you want to access F5 via CLI, username will be root and password is default, DEFOULT. Very, very important. What are the default credentials via GUI and CLI? Default IP is 192.168.1.245. Okay, guys. Now, guys, I have made a very good document for you guys, which I will be sharing you. Whole lab setup. I will be sharing you today. I hope everyone has shared the Google, their email ID on their sheet, Google sheet, which I have shared. So first part is, guys, I have shared everything here, how to license the box, how to configure management IP, everything in detail. You will get this document. Now, guys, I hope everyone has downloaded this VMware workstation. First thing is you need to click on big IP image. This is how your big IP image will come in VMware workstation. Now, first thing is, once it's started, you need to go to settings. This is the first thing. Now I am doing a management IP configuration. So we are talking about lab setup. First step is management IP. So for that, you download VMware workstation, you download F5 image, double click on F5 image, it will be looking like this. So now I will go to big IP, click on settings. Now here, guys, very, very important. I have a laptop with 32 GB RAM. minimum RAM in your laptop should be at least 8 GB to F5 to be work. And if you have SSD, then it's good. So F5 I can assign if you have, see, in my case, it's working with 4.4 GB RAM also. But in your case, might be it works with 6 GB or 5.5 GB. So assign 5.5 GB RAM to your F5. Processor, you can assign 2. Hard disk, you can leave it default. Very, very important. What are the configuration resources required to configure F5 in your laptop? At least 8 GB RAM should be there in your laptop. And to F5, you can assign first 4.4. If it is slow, then you can assign 6 GB. So how to assign RAM? Just click on this and change here. You will not able to change because it started. So what you need to do, power off. Once it's power off, then only you can assign. So this is how your first, when you click on F5, this is how your image will open. Nothing is there, will be coming here. I will tell you how to assign. First thing, you need to go to edit virtual machine settings. Once you click here, you will see RAM, processor, and hard disk. Just go here and you can increase, decrease like this. Then click on OK. Let's say I want to assign 4.4 GB. Then it will be like this. See, if I need to increase, just select here, it will become 6.5 GB. Processor 2. Hard disk, you can keep it default like this. Don't change any hard disk configuration. Now comes the VMware adapter. I told you, right? F5 needs to have 4 interfaces. So I've assigned first interface as VMnet 8, second as bridge external, third as HA, and fourth as internal. This can be different. I will tell you the logic. Maybe your second interface can be VMnet 8. It depends on the MAC address, guys. So this is how you can assign. Just go here. You can change it. Let's say you want first interface to be external. So select VMnet 0. Maybe second interface is management. Just select VMnet 8 like this. If I want first interface to be management, then it comes like VMnet here. Here I will assign VMnet 0 or bridge. You can do bridge also. And how to see the MAC address, I will tell you guys. What happens in F5 case, your F5 interfaces, I'm talking about this interfaces, management, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Their MAC address should match with MAC address of your this interface. Let's say my MAC address is of management interfaces something like .22. And I will check this VMnet 8 MAC address. This should match because my management is tagged to VMnet 8. So how to check VMnet 8 MAC address? This is very important, guys. Go to advanced, check here. I have seen this. Now I will log in into F5. In F5, your management interface MAC should be this one only. If it is not matching, then maybe it's coming like, maybe here it's matching. You need to match it. I will show you. First, we will start F5. We will check the management MAC address. Then we will go into each, and if anyone is matching, then you will tag that as a VMnet 8. Very, very important. Maybe this interface in your case can be VMnet 8. Whatever MAC address, I will show you. So don't get confused. Let's say I have assigned this. You have also assigned this 4 interfaces. Go into settings. You assign RAM, hard disk, processor, then you assign 4 interfaces. Okay. Then you power on. I will tell you how to see the MAC address. Let's first check the MAC address. You just started, give us 1 minute. Let's start this. You can also start if you have imported the F5 image. So let give us 1 minute to start. So if you also have F5 image ready, just start it like that way. It will come in 2 minutes. First thing is you need to configure network adapters. Go to edit and virtual network adapter, assign the subnets. I'm telling you again like this. First one is bridge, second one is host only, third one is host only because in F5 I have 4 interfaces, and fourth one is NAT. Then go into F5, right click on F5 and then settings. So here you will assign that 4 interfaces which you have created there. So just treat that as an L3 interface. These are your L2 interfaces. Now the third term I have turned on the F5. Now I will need to see MAC address matching. I will tell you the logic of MAC address. It is starting. It will take 2 minutes more. This is how this is how your F5 looks like, guys. Very, very important. So first thing, you have asked your DC engineer to assign a laptop and plug laptop to console port of F5. Now you will get 10 credentials to log in. So what is the credential, guys? In CLI, username is root, password is default. Credentials to log in via CLI, username, root, password, default, DEFAULT. Now I need to check the MAC address. So in F5 guide, there are two modes. One is advanced shell that I will talk in CLI, and one is called TMOS. So I need to go to TMOS. This is an advanced shell. If you see hash, that is called advanced shell. That is a Linux advanced shell, which will help you in troubleshooting some processes, CPU utilization. So how to go to bash? From bash to TMOS. So I need to type this command. TMSH. I'm just writing again. TMSH. TMSH. Then it will come to TMOS mode. You will see. Can you see? TMOS mode. Now, if I go to again into advanced shell, need to run bash. Then it will come to bash. If you want to go to TMOS, TMSH. TMSH, traffic management shell. Now I will see the MAC address list, NET interface. How to see the MAC address of different interfaces of F5? Command is list network interface. And this I'm running on TMOS by typing TMSH. First, you need to type this, then it will go up to TMOS, then run this command. What is the MAC address of management interface, guys? Can someone tell me on the chat? You can see there are 4 interfaces. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 management. What is the MAC address of management? Anyone? Quickly on the chat. MAC address of management here, you can, this is an F5 console. MAC address of management is 9D97. Now I will go to F5, right click on that like this, and I need to see whether it's matching on the interface, which is I have assigned VMnet 8. So I will go here. First interface I have assigned like VMnet 8. Okay. So I will go to advanced. So it is correct. In your case, if it is not matching, then you need to go to second, whether its MAC address is 9D97 or not. If it is 9D97, second interface, then you will assign VMnet 8 here, guys, like this. Very, very important, guys. This is only in F5 case. Your MAC address of your F5 interfaces, this F5 interfaces should match with this one. Now, can someone tell me my external interface? This one is matching already. I will change it. VMnet 8. This one is bridge. Now, let's say my external network is 1.1. Now, where I need to check, guys? In virtual adapter, VMware workstation 1.1 is correspondence to what? From this one, can someone tell me network adapter 1, 2, 3, or 4? My 1.1 interface should match with which interface? I have assigned this one for external. Now I will see what is my external network. I will go to advanced 9DA1, guys. Now, guys, here you cannot see, that is seen by GUI. So we will go to GUI and check it. But first thing is I have checked the MAC address. MAC address of this interface 9D97 is matching your this one. So it is correct. We have done this. Now what I will do is, guys, I will go to TMSH, sorry, bash. Now, very, very important command to configure. It's very easy. Now the time has come to configure management IP. So you need to type this command config that will give you command to configure management. It will give a console. I will show you how. config. That's it. Can you see this? It will give you a utility. It's very easy. It will give a utility to configure IP address. I will click OK. Config some. Okay. So I'm just showing you config. Then click on tab. Oh, it's giving some issue here. Generally, when you click OK, it will get a console. So just give me 1 minute. You must add an OK. Just guys, some minute. Load says config default. I think because I've already did it previously, so I need to reset. I'm doing factory default because my management IP is already configured. So I'm just resetting it because I will do from scratch. In your case, you will able to click OK and you will get an IP address. But in my case, my management IP was already configured. So I've just default. I've done factory reset. Now I will able to configure it. Because I've been doing labs, that's why my management IP was previously mentioned. So I've done the factory default. So it's resetting everything. Okay. Now I will type config. I'm just saving the configuration. Now I will type config. Go to bash and type. Now it should give me the, I will click OK. Some issue I am having, I think. TMSH list says management IP. Just hold on. I will try to delete. It's not overwriting it, so might be some case. Because if you see, this is an IP 192.168.137.51. It's not getting removed. Anyways, not an issue. I will try again. I will go to bash config. It's giving me route management entry count is 2. Okay. I think I have some routes added. That is why it's not letting me. So just ignore this, guys. Previously, some configuration I have done it. So that is why, but you need to just type config and give an IP address. I will show you. I had some issues in overlapping the IP address, so you can ignore it. Don't treat it as a confusion. You just need to type config, it will give you an IP address. In my case, some issues I'm having. Let's see now if it resolved. Okay. So now I click on OK. Now it is giving me an option whether you need to do automatic configuration or manual. So I will say no. Now here I will add. I will assign IP 192.168.137. anything from 137.0 because my management IP is from this network. So I am giving my F5 IP as 192.168.137.51. Now I will click OK. My subnet mask is 24. That is fine, guys. Now I will click OK. It is saying that do you want to create a default route? It is basically, let's say your PC is in different network, but you want to access from here. You will say yes. I will click OK. Yes. That's it. So I have given IP plus subnet plus default route as default. So now my management IP is configured. That's it, guys. So what I did, I logged in into CLI, type the command config, then it will give me the utility. I have given the IP 192.168.137.51 net mask /24 and default route I have given default. Now I will go here in GUI and try to access by HTTPS, guys. From GUI, you need to access via HTTPS. Excellent, guys. If you get this console, your lab is successful. If you don't get it, then you need to check the MAC address. So what you need to do? GUI credential is username is admin, password is also admin. So here your F5 management connectivity is finished. Now you will configure the license and everything default. This is how your IP should come, guys. So if this is finished, you are able to get the HTTPS from your browser to the management IP, then your lab is successful. Next task is license, which I will take after the Q&A, guys. I want everyone to do this lab and get this access. So now I will unmute yourself and you can ask your question.